Okay, welcome. Yeah, welcome to the Top Res podcast. Uh, this is the part where I should be inserting the slogan, but that one will be in the next episode. Yeah, so today we have
Let's Habu at your finest today, and I am the special guest for this
more like a special regular, even though, uh,
one.
yeah. So, so today is the special one because we have your very own baby behind us here.
Yeah, this is my project, guys. This is my project, and yeah, I decided that let me not start the first episode with other people's cars and whatnot. Give it a bit of a background of where I come from,
Or where you are
where I
currently.
am right now. Yeah, so that people
Yes.
can also know that no, this guy's actually doing something at the back.
Yeah,
As you
so he's
can see.
currently
As you can
doing
see.
the Bolt special here.
Yeah, definitely. I'm showing you a very
The Bolt
incomplete car
spec.
right now.
hmm
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, why the design fit? Why the 1.2 design?
Well, it's not too far of a distance to why, right? This is my 2018 Suzuki Dzire 1.2. And the reason why I decided to actually go for this is number one, the fuel efficiency. It's very fuel efficient, right? And it showed its fuel efficiency through my journey driving it, definitely. I've once went to Pumalanga and back to Gauteng with just 2 bars, just 2 bars. And 2 bars was like almost 300 rand.
So what was this about trip?
Nope. This was the personal one, definitely.
So the reason why only I'm making fun with is that this car has or not this car specifically, but cars of this class have become the Bolt spec. You know, the miniature sedans and the light hatchbacks of the world. You know, you have cars like the Datsun Go, the uh, Kia Pegasus roaming around here. You know, the Honda, what's this? The Honda Amaze.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
amaze.
the Honda Amaze. You have cars like this roaming around. Usually, when you request for your Bolt and your Uber, and
Definitely.
then yeah, you see a lot of these. You know, granted, there are other Uber cars that are generally the Uber cars. Right now, the Toyota Rumion is very popular.
Yeah, it's definitely getting populated. My fear is what if the Chinese market decide that they want to make a miniature car just into this class? Because right now the Chinese market is focused on the compact SUVs and SUV lineup. But what if one day, and I'm sure it's definitely coming, right? What if one day they decide that okay, enough challenging the big guys, let's go for the little ones too. They start challenging your likes of desires, every car that you just mentioned now, and you can definitely already know that the price is gonna be low,
Which is kind of true, but already the entry price for these ones is like quite low.
quite low. Yeah, but what if
Yeah,
it goes low, like not quite lower, but not not quit spec, more than what you get from a quid.
but with this, in regards to the spec, you're not getting uh, too much compared to the Quid. You know, much more. You're not getting much more compared to the Quid. Because I'm looking at your tire profile. The current tire profile is running right now, and is it different from a Quid? What's the difference with the tire profile?
It's actually a bit more different, right?
Mm-hmm.
The profile is definitely a bit wider. That I can see. It's definitely wider, and it's just about a bit larger in the size of the diameter, right, of the tire. And also the rim, it's a 4-spoke rim. The quilt runs on 3 spokes, bruh. And I looked at it and I was like, no, that doesn't look safe at all. 3 spokes on a car.
Okay, so uh, What's the plan with this one then?
Well, the plan is to get it running again, of course. I mean, it does run currently, just that as you can see, I stripped it down. I'll definitely show it up in in the in the viewers point of view when I was actually stripping the car down, right? And the reason why is that it had a fun smash from one of
One of your
someone.
many trips.
It's one of my mini
Was it
trips.
the Mpumalanga trip?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. It had
What
a
were you doing in Mpumalanga, bitch?
what I did there.
People wanna know.
Mpumalanga is where the people are at. If you actually think of it, it's definitely where the people are at. I mean, Josie is good and Gauteng as a whole is good, man. But it's only once you actually start exploring the world outside of Gauteng and you actually get to notice that we are so fictional to following the rules that we don't even want to get out of our own comfort zones, right? And I took the journey that I need to go or need to start going out, exploring the world outside of Gauteng or the country, the whole country as a whole, just to see, yeah, to see where it ends up. And Mpumalanga was one of those destinations that I had to check out. And I don't regret checking it out. As I say, the car was, yeah, was good. I'm happy about what Suzuki did with the fuel economy of this car. I'm really happy. And the plan with the car, as I said, is to get it running. And it had a fun smash, and the radiator was in pieces, or still is in pieces. The bumper is in pieces. The frame of the car is in pieces. So probably the reason why this project is taking so long, it actually crashed like about 8 to 10 months ago, is that I actually need to take out almost everything out because of the frame, right? So that they can just realign the frame back. And also, it also needs some welding because of the frame legs are also out, right? And even if I buy the parts, which is the cradle that will hold the radiator and the bumper and everything, I can buy them. Even if I get them, I can't put them on because of the frame. Without the frame, you can't put anything on because everything is bolted to the frame, including the cradle that I want to buy, right? So that's where I am right now. Uh, that's where I am, and where the car is leading, definitely we'll be back on the roads, and probably one of these episodes again we'll be talking about it, whereby it's actually the work in progress.
So just an update, young man. Give it yeah, young something, young time.
Yeah, young 5 months, probably at the end of the year, I'd be hopeful for it, right? But this is one of those projects that I'm not rushing for it. I mean, I miss the car. I definitely do. I miss it a lot. But
Mm.
I can't enjoy the process because right now the finances aren't be on the best of side. But the plan with it, once it's actually running again, is definitely you spoke about the type profile and that needs to change.
Hey, my guy, because you know, man, you look at what can I say? You look at some people driving around in these cars, for instance, the quid, as you said. You're looking at it, and these tiny biscuits are there, and you
Right.
see the
And it's
potholes come, and
going.
you're like,
And it's going. That's the
dude,
thing. It goes.
it goes. But at one point, are you gonna keep going till something happens and you stop permanently? You know? Yeah, you look at it and you're like, yeah, this level of cars. I get why they made it because cars are starting to be expensive now. For instance, the entry point of a VW Polo being over 400,000 for the new ones. It's not realistic to the average South African anymore. And then you look at these ones, you're like, okay, I could probably afford a car that is in this spec and this profile. And then you spoke on the Chinese, so we're going back to that part of the conversation where if they were to enter this market, they would uh they would what? They would, I don't know, dominate because
There'd be techy. There'd be a lot of tech in the car.
yeah, they'd
That's
be
one thing.
techy and they would dominate. But the problem is already when it comes to this uh what this spec of car, you're looking at the spec and how relatively unsafe it is compared to the rest of the cars. Not saying that it's not safe at all, but like you look at how the whole recent Toyota Starlet Suzuki Baleno scandal is going.
Yeah, yeah. The 0 star rating.
Yeah, and then you look at this guy over here and you're like, this one is lighter than that, this one's a bit more fragile than that, and you go, okay, so how will the Chinese undercut that when we know that the Chinese are very good at cutting corners and getting loopholes? Because I'm not saying their cars are bad, I'm not saying their cars are unsafe, but what loophole can they cut to make these cars, this level of cars, cheaper? Should they decide to go into this market?
I think that the highest likely chances of the Chinese making this more uh safe or more balanced as it drives is that how I see it where it's going is that the Chinese are probably going to make it electric, right? As soon as they put the
Yo,
batteries in, the weight is going up. And when the weight goes up, they have enough play around the car to put on heavy materials for safety because they know that the battery in the center of the car is heavy enough to cope with the heavy crash bars and everything, right? So the car will always be balanced because the battery takes the center of gravity of the car right in the middle. So that's what I think. I mean, right now, there isn't much you can think of electric cars in this class of cars
and there isn't many electric cars in below a certain class, especially down here in South
in
Africa,
South
because we
Africa,
have a
definitely.
very large car market. I mean, we literally have such a large car market that car companies come down here and build factories here. But for the large market that we have, it's surprising how small our electrical market is, especially when you look at places outside of Gauteng, you know, places outside of Gauteng that aren't even like big cities. Like, for instance, you can't come here and say, no, Cape Town has a large uh, electric car market. That's a city, you know, whereas you look at countries that have developed an electric car industry, like for instance the UK. You know, you'll see car electric cars in uh, towns, in small towns like Essex and Middlesbrough or something. And then you'll see them in big towns like Manchester and London. And then you go, yeah, there's a balance there. There's uh, there's a certain level that they have that we don't, that allows them to look into needing electric cars. Granted, with them, cars are a bit more on the affordable side as a whole, as a market, and their countries are smaller, some of them relatively to ours. But why would they bring an electric car the size of the Desire to us where we're not even electrical in terms of the vehicle market?
I think the Chinese, compared to other manufacturers, have a strong base or strong customer base in South Africa at most. than any
Mm-hmm.
other place.
Oh my god,
I'm not saying that they're not
it's
dominating out
relative.
there.
It's relative.
I'm not saying that they're not dominating outside there, right?
Mm.
But that dominance, I mean, look at Chile, bruh, the Tigo, number one selling car in South Africa. You see where I'm going with it?
I
So,
see where you're going with it. Now. It's just like that point. That point has number one. It has some sort of technicality with it because they counted those numbers along with the cross. Granted, in some markets they are the same car. You know, they call the cross the Tigo 4 facelift. But you look at other markets and the Chinese are there electrically as well.
yeah,
BYD. I know it's here, but it's not dominating as it is on other sides.
it's just arrived. Remember, right?
I just arrived.
It just
I just
arrived. Yeah,
arrived, brother. I
exactly.
just arrived.
That's what I'm saying. It just arrived. And with BYD and the Chinese as a whole, the thing that I was trying to get to is that I think, or I believe that the Chinese are going to explore in creating electric power plants in South Africa more than any other company. I mean, look at BMW, for instance. They just made one in Manly and a few others around. And they're like, yeah, that's it. And because they already know they don't have much electric power plants, they don't plan on selling many electric cars in South Africa. Same is with every other brand in South Africa, right? Except for the Chinese. The Chinese are going to start electric power plants, electric charging stations around South Africa. Believe you me when I say this, 5, 10 years from now, you'll be seeing a BYD charging station almost every.
You know, are you saying that same way? Uh, on this thing, on that show from the UK we used to watch about cars, where they were like, where a few years ago, like probably 10, 12 years ago, they were like, In a few years, we will be driving Chinese cars. And we're like, and we were all like, yeah, they're talking good fun, but
I mean, really,
like, let's be honest. Firstly, most of these Chinese brands aren't out of China yet. You know, fast forward 2026, and the top selling cars in one of the most niche markets of vehicles is a Chinese car because our market is very niche. You know, you have uh, three or four dominating classes, which is what the SUVs,
the Bakis,
the buggies,
your
the
entry level cars,
entry level cars.
and I can't say electric. I can
Not
say
electric,
your
not electric. No,
what class is the Polo in? It's not
no.
if it's entry level.
We'll say entry level, mid range.
Yeah, mid range. Your middle class people.
Your
You are
Yeah, your
your
middle
middle
and the
class.
compact executive class.
Yes,
We'll say that.
yes. Your likes of Polos, Polo,
Golf,
your Golfs, CX3s, and
Theo.
exactly
Yeah,
all those cars. Yeah.
yeah.
So we have just about four major classes in South Africa that
And
people
one of
actually
them is being dominated by who? The
Chinese car,
Chinese. The Chinese, my
Chinese
guy.
cars. And
So,
the other also, the
mhm.
Bakis. Think about the PCs. I'm not saying that it's close, but it's sold.
No, I'm not thinking about the P series. You know why? Because it did sell. You see it relatively frequently when you go on the road, when you drive, especially locally. Like I'm not even saying like a good town to city drive or a good province to province drive. No, like just a local drive. But I'm looking more at the BYD, the bike that they have now on our markets. And I look at that and say, and it says something. It says something to me where you look at it and it's like, okay, so I have this one. as China. I have this one, it's doing well. I can then go and launch a second one in the same market, and they're competing in the same market, but they're from the same place. You know, it's sort of like uh how Hyundai and
Here.
Kia, yeah, are now competing. We're relatively not a few, but like many years back, the Honda, not the Honda, sorry, the Gets, the Hyundai Gets, and the Kia Kia Picanto were like
Like pads. Uh,
not necessarily best buds,
but
but
you can
like
see
they
that
were the bottom of the barrel. You know, you weren't looking at Hyundai and saying this is where the brand is going when you looked at those vehicles.
definitely,
So
definitely I agree on that.
that's where I am with the Pakis. Like they're not the most selling right now, but they are a very good foundation for me.
It's like that also. It makes sense in that way because they're just starting. They're
I
just
just
starting.
arrived.
Yeah,
I just arrived.
they're just starting, you know.
And if you just arrived, uh, we've been talking for like a good 15 minutes now about a bunch of things. So if you've been enjoying that 15 minutes, like, subscribe, comment, and maybe tag yourself in for the next video. You don't know, you have averagely an average car, a nice project at home that you would like to be interviewed by, just
Hit us up,
yeah, hit us
definitely.
up.
Yeah.
Hit us up. We're available.
Uh, and we definitely will try our best to reply. And even if you don't, just spam the comments.
Yeah, spam the
We definitely
comments.
will.
We'll probably push. We'll probably push this baby to your area and arrive. Yeah,
And get there.
and
Definitely.
talk cars. You know.
Yeah. Talk about your project
Yeah,
mostly,
this is top
definitely.
revs, my guy. So
Yeah.
speaking about this baby right here, how do you feel about the whole Toyota Suzuki thing? So I'm asking because how does it affect you with this guy? Do you get parts from Toyota, or is it because that the Desire is basically a Swift? You have to get Suzuki exclusive parts.
That's the problem, right? It's not really closely related to any Toyota right now because it's in the Swift market. And Toyota, when this car was launched, wasn't at close range with Suzuki. They went in that strong bond partnership where they just do cut and paste off their cars. With this, the other thing, as much as they look the same, it and the Swift in the front, the part one, somehow. The example, right? The radiator. I got there and I told them that, hey, I'm looking for a Desire or a Swift radiator. And they say that the hose linings, bro, they're not the same, right? And I got there and I was like, okay, the fan at least the same. The fan linings are not the same. Okay, the bump, I can see the bumper is the same. Like the bumper is the same, but the bumper clips aren't the
And not
same.
the same.
Exactly. This car looks so similar to the Swift on the front, and yet it's so different. It's so different,
Same, but
but different.
different.
That's it. That's exactly how it is. You wouldn't even notice that it's that different to it. Please excuse me. You wouldn't notice how different it is, right? You wouldn't, because when you see them, I mean, even if I could actually put a Swift next to this car when it's complete, you'd think that underneath the engine is the same, right? Probably the mountings and the frames and the gearbox is the same. That I can guarantee. But anything further than that, they had to move certain things slightly, not too much, but they were actually moved around. It's not too far from the box, but it's not in the box. That's what I'm trying to say. So the Toyota Suzuki Alliance doesn't help with this. And the Suzuki Swift clone to make the Desire also doesn't help. In this case, I mean, if it was an engine problem, it was going to be simple. Just get a Swift engine, put it in there. It was going to fit perfectly, right? But this is just, front, a few front damaged parts, right? And those parts don't link too closely with each other with the Swift. And as I said, the car runs. I could start it up now, but it would definitely heat up quick because it doesn't have a radiator right now. I took it out, and I wouldn't say it's costly to buy them, but it's hard for me to get parts that are secondhand because you don't see many desires crashed. You see many Swifts that are crashed, but not many desires.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's true.
that's where I ended up needing to. That's how I even started looking for Swifts because they were almost in every location that I checked. There would be a Swift, and I'd be like, okay, let me just take this. And the people would be like, no, it's not the same thing. I mean, I would have been done if I actually got secondhand parts. The parts that I'm getting that I need to buy are actually first hand by your likes of gold and your Midas and all these things. The first hand parts, right? And they are expensive. I mean, like a first hand radiator for this is almost 3.5. So it's a budget radiator. The fan, yeah.
Yeah,
You see
that's
where
good.
it's going. For the fan, you need to fabricate it. It needs some lining ups. And it also has a few suspension problems because the arm is a bit wiggly while it rides. So I also need to fix that. But I can't fix that until I fix the whole thing.
Hey man, these things are a commitment.
Yeah, it's a commitment. It
Yeah,
is.
you have to
It
commit.
definitely is.
So, do you wish that Toyota ever got the Swift slash? Because the deal was that they have to get they don't that Toyota doesn't touch their most recognizable cars. You know, like the Jimny, the Swift,
Swift. Yeah.
the Desire. So, do you wish that they got that deal?
Honestly, I wouldn't say it doesn't make that much difference because the parts are still easy to get for the most recognizable cars. They definitely are still easy to get. Just that in my case, secondhand parts is what hits. First hand, any shop that I go to and say I need a Dzire radiator, they'll give me a quote immediately because it's easy to get them. The problem is secondhand getting either a Swift or I mean rather a first Desire. It's hard to get into that. That's the thing. But definitely, as soon as I do, I get to see this car back on the road. Definitely.
And it will be on the road. So, what can we expect next?
So that's
After this or after that part of the project is done.
as I say, I wanna change the tires. I wanna get a nice rims to suit the car.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm
I'm
not
not
sure
sure
if
if I
I want
wanna
to
slam
slam
it
it
or
or
not.
not.
I'm
I'm
not
not
a
a
slim
slim
B.
B.
I don't. I'm
I'm
not
not
saying
saying
that
that
I hate
it's
Spence cars,
cars,
but
but
it's
it's
not
not
my cup of tea to enter into, that sort of culture of cars,
yeah, my guy, your cup is a cup of coke. Yes.
Definitely. It's definitely. So,
Yeah. Cheers to that.
mhm. So what I'm trying to say is that with this car, I think I'm going to change the rims. If I decide I would love it to be a slim car, I'd put coils on it, either coilovers or some air. I'm not cutting the spring, guys. That has never been an option and never will. Right? I'm not cutting the spring because I have many people that have regretted cutting the springs of their cars. And in that case, it shows that there are many ways to slam a car. People cut the spring, people take out the spring, people clamp the spring, people heat up the spring. I didn't know that. People actually heat up the spring and it actually
That one's new to me as
compresses.
well. I
I
did not
didn't know
know
that.
that.
That people actually they use torch, like
Blowtorch. Yeah.
blowtorch, and they would heat up the student for a long time. It actually starts to compress.
That's that that is actually creative.
Yeah, people put in seeds, people put in foils, so your air, you know, so airbags,
Yeah,
and
and
then
hydraulics. My guys,
yeah,
people actually
because
fancy enough with that.
I was getting the last part of it is hydraulic, full hydraulic tires, and hydraulic is it's something different. Definitely is.
Yeah,
It
like
definitely is. But yeah, I don't want to go crazy about this car. But the next project that I would like to venture into is definitely much older than this car, and it's definitely German.
stay
Yes,
tuned for that one. Let's not spoil it too much.
yes. I want to head into getting a nice German body car.
Mm-hmm.
Can think about what it is.
No problem, my guy. Let's leave it there for today, my good people. If you enjoyed this episode, you know what to do. We have had
Letabo, right?
mhm,
Definitely the founder of the channel
yeah, and a familiar face.
will
Yeah,
definitely be familiar. Definitely,
yes,
you will be seeing this face more often.
both faces
Both
in
faces, for that
general.
matter.
Yeah, so
Yes.
this has been Top Revs. If you've hit the limiter, then you've definitely hit the top revs, my guy. Slam those gears, clutch the double.
Clutch,
Yeah, clutch the
definitely.
double and hit the red line.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how you
So
get some good top revs. Peace.
peace out.